times. But,
Well, I want to go into, because you got so many credits. Okay, I want numbers. I want to, how many times you've been killed, how many times you killed somebody, and how many in how many romantic scenes where you actually kissed the girl.
Well, killing, I have been killed 30, 40 times.
30, 40 times. Good deaths. Good deaths.
In fact, once I years ago on a demo reel, at the end of the reel, I put a thing called the producer's dream, and it was all my deaths, one after the other, super fast.
What was your best death?
I've had a couple of good ones, but I think one that was great was on The Crow.
Okay.
And they zapped me with some sort of extraterrestrial thing, and I imploded and then blew up into chunks of green matter, and that was a pretty good one.
Do they have someone on set that's like a death expert showing you how to die?
How to die?
No. I don't know how you would die. I don't know. I've never died.
No, but they have. I did a film where they had a guy from the British SAS, which my dad was in, and he taught us how you take somebody with a gun and how you keep the gun close to you so they can't knock it out, how to effectively kill somebody. He taught us how to do that. So I was taught how to kill.
That's
but not how to die.
So we got number one. So number two is the girl, when you got to kiss the girl.
To kiss the girl. I don't play a lot of romantic leads, but I've done it several times. And in one film, it's about this artist who's been not very good to the women in his life. In the pursuit of his art, and so there were 8 different women in that film, all of whom I had flashbacks and things with. So there was a fair bit of kissing in that one. But no, I've had lots of romantic things. I've had Larry Sugar will hate that I'm telling this, but I was doing a show. Larry Sugar's an amazing producer here. He's an amazing guy, and I worked on a number of his shows. And one of the shows I was on was So Weird for Disney, and I played a British rocker who's Mackenzie Phillips' partner, and I was doing Disney, and I did another thing for him called First Wave, and I played the head of all the aliens, and he comes down to find out why so many of their operatives are falling into human emotion and sex and getting off the course of the takeover of Earth, and so he has to learn what sex is and all, but and with very graphic sex scenes that were shot for 14 hours, and every angle and different cameras and all that stuff. And I was doing a press interview in the Vancouver Sun, and I said, when I was in my 20s and playing in rock bands, I never played rock stars, and now I'm in my 40s, I'm playing them. And when I was young and healthy and running around, I never had love scenes, and now that I'm in my 40s, I'm getting all these love scenes and sex scenes. And so Larry called me into his office and said, what are you thinking? He said, you can't talk about sex scenes you're working for Disney.
Oh my
And
God.
then he told me he scared me, then told me he was just joking. But I'm
going to sum this up, because I'm going to say more people wanted to kill you than wanted to love you.
That's right. And it's probably still the same.
I've been told that, though I've not been on set to see this, but the love scenes are probably the hardest thing to do because they're so not sexy.
Yeah.
We've got people like literally standing over you, and this is being taped that way, and this is being held that way, and it's just anything but romantic.
Yeah, and it's a closed set, you hope, but sometimes, grips who you've never seen before come in. I got to move some cable,
Yeah.
and you got to get rid of them. But you're directed in every move because the camera's got to do its thing, and the director says lift your arm, do this, lick that, and so it becomes it's terribly mechanical.
Now voice work factors into your resume as well, and we had Jim Conrad, who's a very prominent voice actor, on a recent show. And he was talking about the fact that then there's a legendary clip of Orson Welles in his latter years was doing radio commercials. And Orson Welles, love him or hate him, arguably one of the greatest filmmakers ever.
And one of the greatest voices.
And one of the greatest voices ever. And here's some squeaky voiced teen producer trying to tell Orson how to inflect in a commercial. And Jim Conrad was giving a definition. It was something like he was told to read something gently but with force, which is a very misleading command. Have you dealt with people of that nature?
Yeah, I mean, there's some really amazing directors in Vancouver. Terry Klassen is one example. There was one director, I won't say who, but he had a tendency to, if you did the line, and if it wasn't what he wanted, he'd give you a direct line reading. Now, most actors, if you get a line reading, you'll resist. Like, I will never do that. But you were just wasting time if you didn't do that the way he wanted it. And so you had to give in to the resistance to be original and just do exactly what you wanted, because otherwise it'd be take after take. So yes, but I've had direction that's been contradictory. Yeah, both on screen and in voice. But gently with force.
Gently with force.
I like that's pretty good. I like that.
Well, I want to go back because I hear all of when you have so much experience and you have so many credits, I'm remiss. I got to ask you. I got to say. So have you ever been on a set and you go, the quality of this show is why am I here? We're talking about the dumbest thing, and then compared to this is phenomenal.
Well,
right? What you're working on, you know what I mean?
I think you kind of know going. You know going in. If it's a small independent, low budget film, you don't expect the world, but in fact, you're often treated very well.
Really?
Yeah, because everyone's compensating and trying to make it as good as possible. Mm-hmm. And so, you may not have the nice trailer or whatever. Sometimes you're changing in a gym washroom or something, whatever. But you know that, and you accept it, and you go in. So anybody who's got problems with that is not reading the room, reading the situation.
Yeah.
But I've been on big shows where you expect it to be good and they're not.
Yeah, and the content, right? The content I'm kind of getting to.
Well, yeah, sometimes. I mean, you always have the script going in, and except for some of these shows that are top secret, you don't.
Yeah.
I won't say the show, but there's a show that shot here for many years, and they only gave you your scene. You had nothing else. You couldn't read anything else. It was all top secret. They wouldn't give you the script, and they blacked out other things. If on the page it was a cutaway to something else, they blacked it all out, so you had no idea of anything but the scene you were in. But that was a very high-end show, and they did well and whatever. But